to jump on the bandwagon of saying that I regret my vote for Trump. My whole family does. My husband and I own a farm in Ohio that was funded through the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden signed into law. And now the executive orders from Trump are rolling back all of that funding for us, so now we can no longer afford our farm. And when all that happened, it was like a lightning bolt hit my brain, and I realized that I shouldn't just be voting for myself, that Trump's policies and EOs are hurting millions of people, but it took it affecting me personally to understand what I had done was wrong. And I think it's really important for anyone to come out who voted for him and is now negatively impacted by the executive orders, or maybe you have friends or family, especially in minority communities, who are being very heavily impacted by what's going on right now. So yeah, I think it's time for us to stop being so selfish maybe, and to vote for what's best for the country instead of just in our tiny little bubble, because we're all in the same boat now and we're all equally screwed by our new president.
Yeah, so you have heard from that woman, live in Florida Panhandles. Yeah, just you understand. So now that there's a thing that they call F around, fuck around, and you'll find out. So so she lamenting her regret voting for Donald Trump. She's devastated because her family is losing their farm in Ohio, and now she's pleading for unity against him and his acolytes. But where was she when countless people, expert, and even everyday citizens warned that electing a conman would lead to ruin? Where was her concern when people pointed out that his policies were designed to benefit the wealthy elite while leaving working class Americans like her to struggle? Can't fix dummy. This isn't about regret. It is about the consequences of ignoring reality. Them live in a bubble and they're waking up because the bubble burst. When people warn that Trump's economic policies, his tax cuts for the rich, his trade wars, his attacks on labor rights would hurt small farmers and working class families, many like her dismissed those warnings. They clung to the illusion that he was a champion of the forgotten American. Despite his history of exploiting workers, scamming students with Trump University, and running businesses into the ground while enriching himself, they choose to believe the showman over the facts. You can't make this stuff up. Now, after years of deception and policy failures, she has found out the hard way. The tariff he imposed crushed farmers. The pandemic relief efforts where patch and corporate interests were prioritized over small businesses and family-owned farms. Many were blindsided, but they shouldn't have been. The information was always there. They just refused to see it. Now she wants the rest of us to ally and rally with her against Trump and his enablers. But the question remains, why did it take personal loss for her to wake up? Why did she only start caring when it affected her directly? Where was the energy when others, immigrants, warning her, especially the Mexicans who work for her on her farm? She knows only care because it affects her. Immigrants, Black Americans, workers, and marginalized communities were warning about the dangers of his leadership. It's a hard lesson, but one must be acknowledged. You play with fire, you get burned. You fuck around with a conman and you find out. So in conclusion, this woman's regret is a stark reminder of the consequences of ignoring the reality of blind loyalty or wishful thinking. Her situation is tragic, but it's not unique. Many Americans have suffered due to policies that were foreseeable, disasters from the start. The warnings were clear, yet they were drowned out by the allure of rhetoric and false promises. While it's easy to feel sympathy for those who now find themselves betrayed, it's also frustrating, that it took personal devastation for them to realize the truth. The lesson here is that leadership matters, policies have real consequences, and voting based on emotions rather than facts lead to ruin. Now, as she calls for unity against Trump and his enablers, the question is whether she and others like her have truly learned from this experience. Will they hold future leaders accountable, or will they fall for the next charismatic con artist promising them the world? It will happen again, because you can't fix fools. The worst thing with fools, one thing with fools, they are very experienced in foolishness. And a racist, most of these people that voted for Donald Trump is all because they are racist. Nothing else. Don't be fooled. Their pity and sympathy they're looking for, they should not get any. None. Zero. Zilch. Now, let me be bold that those who voted for Donald Trump and feeling the pangs of hell, I have zero sympathy for them. Sympathy is a crime. Never sorry for a fool. Fool only know about foolishness. If anything, her story serves as a warning to others. Don't wait until disaster strikes to pay attention. When you ignore the truth, reality will catch up with you eventually. And when it does, the cost can be devastating. We know that right now. Thousands of white Americans, they are committing suicide. And guess what? The media is not reporting it because all of them are in a cabal with him. Because this is the rich against the middle class and the poor in the United States of America. And they want to be the overlords of everyone in this country. It is just really sad how the United States of America has transcended. Where a con man, a convicted criminal can become president of the United States of America, but a black man who receive a traffic ticket would have been shunned. But that's how it is in America when it comes on to white supremacy. White is right, brown, you can stick around, black, step back or you get attacked. So we live in an era where people, they don't respect the truth. They love lies. And when you lie to them, this is what happen. This is what happen when people refuse to accept the truth and work on the interests of the nation, not themselves. Listen to this woman, the only regret that she has is because it affects her now. So they never care about the country. They have seen what happened on January 6th, the attack on the Capitol, the killing of police officers, and that did not move them. But yet, they said that they are voters who care about law and order. And now you're wondering, which law and order they're talking about? White supremacy. And we know that more is yet to come. While the suicide is going up with these people, the media won't report it. Everything. So now, the United States of America is like a mini Russia right now. For you to get information, it's very hard. Because this president and his acolytes, they're all criminal-minded people. If you elect a criminal, expect crimes. And that is what happened. Have yourself a beautiful day.